All right, let's see if this works here this morning. Having a tremendous amount of technical issues for whatever reason. Every time I try to run both my Discord stream here this morning and my online stream, it's just like crashing my computer. So hopefully that ends up not being an issue here this morning. Seems to be running a little bit smoother right now. So we'll see how this kind of shapes up here. We'll see how it shapes up. And then, yeah, we can kind of go from there. We might maybe have to update my RAM and get like, I don't know, 128 gigabytes going or something like that. But this seems to be working fine for now. So that will be maybe a project here for the weekend. All right, well, no time to waste here. All right, took me 20 minutes to solve that. So today, right, FOMC day. Very rare you get FOMC on a Thursday, but that generally, right, creates scenarios where I don't know. I mean, look, FOMC, right? It's kind of like the deep breath right before the plunge. You know, who knows what the Fed's going to do here today, if they're going to cut rates. I don't know, keep them unchanged, whatever it might be. I'll be surprised if they want to rock the boat here very aggressively. And so we're going to see basically how things behave. Generally on FOMC day, right, ends up being a little bit of a quieter and choppier session. So we'll see how things basically shape up here this morning. So, yeah, let's fire through our indexes here, make sure that we're set up, good to go. And yeah, just kind of have ourselves a good day. So first things first, right? Index is 3 for 3 here to the upside. So no bear case here this morning. And yesterday was a fantastic trading day, right? 3 for 3, crushed the markets. You know, really took advantage of the enthusiasm, and yeah, hopefully set ourselves up right for a nice amount of continuation here as we kind of creep up towards the next couple trading days. Today, like I said, might be that kind of catch your breath moment before things really run. But we're at all-time highs on the old ES, right? And we're starting to be pushing towards a 6,000 barrier. We're at 59.80 here this morning, right? So we'll be targeting 59.90, 6,000, 610, right? And then kind of going from there. So 60.10, 60.20, 60.30, and go 60.50. And then a fake out, right? Maybe support off of 59.25. Right, so again, not too much changing from that perspective yesterday. It's pretty much just a straight line up, and we're going to look for that continuation narrative here this morning. All right, and Q, similar story, right? Now at all-time highs here pre-market. Good for you, NQ. And again, right, 3 for 3 here to the upside. And we'll see if this thing can kind of rip and roll. So dip buy off of say 29.50. And then breakout past all-time highs, right? And then can go from there. Stream looking okay here this morning. Team, is it stable? No issues? All right, sweet. And then for those of you who are watching on YouTube, right, if you're DTR members, there is the Discord option, right, which is the lower latency option you guys have all been asking for. So if you want to use that, right, please feel free to jump into Discord under the live trading tab, and you'll see it there. All right, we're targeting 2100 here. Sorry, 21.1. 21.2, 21.3. All right, then we have it mapped out towards, say, 21.7. All right, crude. big red candle, weak red candle, right? At trend line resistance. Technically a 3 for 3 here to the downside. We'll call this a weak 3 for 3. And we're looking for a breakout still above that 72.50, right? Give or take. Or a breakdown towards 69. You call it 70 bucks. So I don't think too much is really changing here from that perspective. All right, let's fire through our leading names here quickly. Apple, week 3 out of 3. And we're looking for a 227 breakout. And then NA here to the downside. Tesla, 289, 3 for 3 here to the upside. So we're looking for a 290 breakout. Path to 300, very much in play. Why didn't I go full port? Tesla. Microsoft, 3 for 3 here to the upside. Still looking to fill that gap here. So bottom up gap fill, not really too much changing from that perspective. Man, freaking annoying morning. NA here to the downside. Nothing more frustrating than tech issues. All right, Amazon 3 for 3 here to the upside. And we're looking for a 208 breakout. And then NA here to the downside. AMD 3 for 3 here to the upside. Non-outlier volume. First one that's not giving us outlier. Say 147 here. Again, pretty much everything, right? It was green all around yesterday. 3 for 3 to the upside on NVIDIA. Nice little trend line breakout. Outlier volume. So we're looking for a 147 breakout now this morning. For whatever reason. That just scared my dog. I do. Yeah. I look for the daily trend. And then try to find the first short-term time frames that match the daily thesis. Alright. Meta. 3 for 3 here to the upside. I'm blasting through this morning, though, because had 15 minutes late starting just because of tech issues. So just looking at the leading names, making sure they're giving me a consistent story here this morning. Okay. Netflix, 3 for 3 here again, right? Nice little breakout here through that wedge pattern. And we're looking for a 780 pop this morning. All right, cool. And then Google, 3 for 3 as well, right? Still stuck within that Wednesday range. So that's probably the one difference, right? Still needs to get over 182.50, but this morning we're looking for a 177.50 breakout. And then to the downside, NA. So pretty much across the board, right? We've got a very consistent bullish narrative. VIX hanging out 15.52. And then we just have FOMC here today, right? That's the big thing. That's the, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, right? That's the element that we have to be just a little bit cautious about. Generally on FOMC days, that's not a session where you want to be particularly aggressive, right? Ends up being, yeah, basically markets where things chop about until we get that decision to drop at 2:30. So historically, you know, ends up being probably a little bit of a quieter day in the morning, and then things pick back up kind of in power hour. We might have a little bit of backwash still hanging out here post-election, and we certainly have enough pre-market enthusiasm to suggest that that could be the case. So we'll see if that ends up being the tradable opportunity. But if not, I've got no issues sitting on hands here at this AM and being very, very patient. So let's see how things shape up here. Really not in a rush to do anything crazy. Looking to see basically where the oomph shows up right this morning, and then can go from there. Obviously, indexes at all-time highs or now testing all-time highs gives us a tremendous amount of enthusiasm to fall in love with. So let's see, you know, if that ends up being the case. Any questions here, team? I know it's very quick prep here this morning. Absolutely fired through that, so didn't have a chance to really talk to any of you here yet this AM. But everything makes sense. No issues. All right, sweet. So let me update the website here. Seems to be stable for now. We'll see how long this lasts. Oh, whoops. All right, any questions, team? We're good? All right, so that's market open here. Let's see how the day shapes up, right? And where that enthusiasm comes together. We have just pretty much a bullish bias here this AM, right? No desire to be particularly bearish here today, and certainly not looking into selling into yesterday's tremendous move post-election. So let's see how the day comes together. I'm just going to spend this next 2 minutes here just visualizing a successful trading day, kind of getting my mind right after kind of a stressful start to the day here with those tech issues, and we'll see if something comes together for us here this AM. So just give me a second here, team, and then we'll jump back on in a moment. All right, sorry team. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm back. No issues still with the stream here. No issues, we're good. All right. If something happens, please let me know. I mean, yesterday I had internet dropout. Today, internet was crashing. I don't know what or computer was crashing. I don't know what the heck is going on. So just be patient here, right? See where things kind of shape up, where things go. But again, right? FOMC expecting not much today, right? All things considered, not expecting too much of a session. I'm going to look to upgrade my RAM here, so bear with me. Try to get that fixed for Monday. I've got 32 gigs of RAM at the moment. I don't know the other specs of my computer. Probably find that somewhere. I got Ryzen 9. I'm not using that much of my RAM. I'm using like 35% of it. I don't know. Might have just been bad luck here. I mean, as is, it says my CPU is using 12% of capacity. So I don't know. Seems like upgrading the system update and doing all that kind of stuff seems to have stabilized it. I don't know if it was just bad timing, bad luck. Bill Gates trying to get his revenge post election. I'm not quite sure. So let's see. I mean, still no active confirmation setups here on the index level. You maybe have a chance with this volume, but not quite confident. We do have some 10 a.m. data, which again will potentially get in the way, so it might just slow us down here just a little bit. But yeah, it's been a great week here so far, right? Yesterday, tremendous day. So if I don't get any action here this morning, I mean, there's no bitterness, right? So I gotta be patient here, not rush anything, not force anything, not feel any FOMO. Just let the market do its thing, right? Trust my process, not chase my feelings. And we'll see how it goes. 20 seconds to go here on this 3-min time frame. That'll be probably the most likely, although not perfect. Tech is in full squeeze mode. Impressive. Again, not enough volume. Hey, good morning, Howell. Current DTR members who are in the YouTube, any reason you guys prefer the YouTube versus Discord? What's the reason? Ah, okay. Understood. So no confirmations here yet. Yeah, I figured that could also be a reality. So just not being available on some work computers. I mean, the workaround is having it on your personal phone. I don't know. Same thing, but I get that. Makes sense. Yeah, well, if Discord has a way of recording it, my poor PC will probably just like erupt in flames. So we'll see. We'll try to keep it running as is for now. But I don't think it's a coincidence that in the 3 days that we've tried to set it up this way, it's been having some tech issues. Now, I don't know if that's a me problem or go from there. So it's likely just your audio settings, Cordell. You got to go in and change your audio settings in Discord. Again, still not increasing volume here on any of the breakouts. So it's kind of just like a grind. So no rush here to do anything, right? At least not yet. Can no one else see my charts here? Or is that just a Ben thing on Discord? Says I'm sharing my screen. All right. So again, it might be a setting issue there, Ben. Apparently, Ben, if you're not seeing it on Discord, click your name, click my name, right, in the live chat, then it should start sharing it. Okay, so again, right, no reason to jump into anything here yet. And it'll say watch stream or watch screen. So crude's really the only setup. I'm not sure if this is enough volume for me to be like convinced by it. But it's pretty fake out typey price action here to the downside. So there's your big rip higher here. Not sure if I would trust this pullback. So see if we can get it on the 5-min potentially. Or maybe even like a 10-min reversal. We have 14 minutes till market data. Not sure how enthusiastic. That's a big move all of a sudden. I'm not sure how enthusiastic it's going to be here. Again, the main... I don't know what you want to call it. The main event here today, right, is FOMC. So generally, FOMC mornings aren't super busy because of yesterday's, election result or Tuesday's election result. There could be some like straggler volume, right, type thing in the market and straggler move, but we haven't really seen that play out on the indexes. So for now, it's a protect your mental capital name. Well, my Discord username is Michael DTR. But if you're a guest, right, you're not going to be able to access the Discord stream. No, Sammy, I wouldn't. I wouldn't trade in the afternoon post FOMC, no. Like my edge is trading the morning, right? With very few exceptions. FOMC is not one of those exceptions. So, like if the week ends here as is today, it's been an awesome week. So if I don't place another trade, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, it does, Jen. You're spot on. Feels very slow and calculated. And that's just typical waiting for something price action, right? So maybe we can get a bit of a pop here post 10 a.m. data, but it's not feeling particularly trend day. That's quite the adjective. But yeah, not sure how enthusiastic I need to be here yet. So for now, very slow day. Again, maybe on CL here we could play that red to green reversal. This is probably the only thing that's interesting. Would now have to be something like this. Sandy check here. We got nat gas storage at 10:30. That's going to be okay. So I'm going to start to watch crude here. Okay, so stop loss 71.39. So again, it's going to require some smaller position sizing, right? Like 3 units as is, and it's got to be under 56 for a possible entry. Might not get it here, so being patient. It's definitely got an elevator up. But we haven't seen stairs down. If that continues to be the case, and we get this blast off into the stratosphere, then I can keep just switching time frames, right, until I get a reasonable pullback into my entry zone. So far, things are flying. So with that level of enthusiasm or with that pace, I don't need to be hyper aggressive here yet. But an entry on a pullback into 56 would absolutely be interesting. But it would be only 3 contracts, right? 2 contracts even. So it's making it challenging to be able to get the risk reward essentially that I want. Or I shouldn't say that. The risk reward's fine. The position sizing isn't there. So would need to see a decent pullback here still. Again, 2 units on CL. It's like, what's the point? Okay, so watching here. Again, I want to see a deeper pullback, right, to justify the sizing. Or, right, alternatively, play this on a different time frame where I can have a tighter risk reward. So I'm not in a rush to trade this here yet on this 5 min. Just being very patient, slow, cautious. It's just very challenging to get the risk reward, right? Or sorry, I keep saying risk reward. It's very challenging to get the position sizing to justify taking on this trade. See how this closes here on the 3 min. 30 seconds to go. Again, on any pullback here into 56, we haven't missed the move yet, right? So maybe it's just trying to trick us into like being too aggressive here so far. Just being patient. Close above 60. We're in decent shape for the 3-min. Kind of a nasty looking candle, right? One that looks like this least bullish. That would tell me to stay away. And then today, right, it's wholesale inventories. It's probably not going to be a huge impact on CL. Okay, not a great looking candle shape there on the 3-min. At least now we're getting a better entry price potentially here on this 5 at 53, 52. That's a little bit maybe more appealing. And then that just kind of killed it. Yep. So, okay, good job here. Not taking a stab at this yet. That would have been a frustrating shake and fake. But yeah, no action here so far this morning. Yeah, candle didn't close. We wanted to see it close above 60 on the 3-min. It couldn't do so. That's not super appealing. So, it's like, I mean, I'm probably spending too much time on social media here the last couple days, but it's like one of those liberals who are saying we're not going to put out for 4 years now. Well, with that type of candle, I'm not going to put out for 4 minutes and take on any risk. Going to be patient. Yeah, it's not good enough. That's not a good enough candle shape. So I'll just wait it out. Again, if we look at price action here so far today, although it's a decent looking candle, we look at it from an internals on like the shorter time frames. There's been no real oomph yet here in this market. So volume's pretty thin. Price action ranges are pretty small. Like today's range, 38.25 points, smallest of the week. Right? So it's clearly telling us the market's waiting for something. And we know what that something is, right? That something is very obviously FOMC. So I don't need to be like hyper aggressive, right? Again, running this into data is a little bit of a punt, right? So choosing to like be a gambler here, not for me. Like if I want that feeling on a day-to-day basis, I don't know. I'll go try the sketchy food place around the corner, right? Not gonna waste any of my money on this price action. Go find the 1-star restaurant on Yelp and see if it's worth the reviews. I don't need to waste my money on yeah, subpar PA. Yeah. CL died. We did a good job. There's just no chasing. There's no chasing price action, right? Anytime we chase, we just get chopped about. It's terrible, right? And volume's pretty weak so far on the index level. Like, it's not really tremendous. I mean, if this 5-minute has a chance to go outlier. If it does, it can hold above 21.1. Then a move towards 21.2 would definitely be in play. Okay, so we'll be watching NQ here. Okay, it's a pretty muted start here. I'm targeting 21.2, right? That's the starting point. So let's see if we can find some support. Again, probably don't want to see it dip in too far below 21. All right, realistically. 21.1, sorry. So we want to see that area of resistance, right, that we identified pre-market to act as support for a continuation breakout. Okay, so far so good. So starting to look at this. Stop loss would be 21.101. We'll be looking at 2 units as is. We want to see elevator up now, stairs down. Haven't seen elevator up. So again, be patient here. On the only other setup we've seen, we basically got vindicated, right, in being too cautious versus too aggressive. With this news headline, right, with 2:30 data or 2 o'clock data, it's not going to pay to be hyper aggressive here. It's going to pay to be more patient, right, than deliberate than it is to be forceful. All right, again, good decision here. So now stop loss would have to be 96. We want to see it get back up above 21.1 with enthusiasm, and then above, right, 11. Man, too many ones in this price action. But if it's going to fight, right, if it's going to chop about here at this level, that's fine. I don't have to be the first one in this position. Doesn't bother me. Right? There is no FOMO. FOMO is a choice. It doesn't have to be a reaction. So by choosing to be aggressive, by choosing to be impulsive, by choosing to not define how you want price action to look like, well, you just set yourself up to chase it because you're not defining, right, what you need to see happen prior to it occurring. So if you can't make price action binary or the reaction to price action binary, you're going to struggle. Yeah, I know. I can't seem to convince myself of doing that, Rusty. I don't know. I mean, every time it dips back under 21, we find support. But the more and more times it tests and can't bounce, the worse it feels, right? So this is now starting to look more like a rejection than it is a breakout. But again, if we go higher high, higher low, hold above 2100 here on this level, 21.1, on this level, then we can, again, do aggressive entry technique, maybe stop loss 103.50, right? Whatever it might be. So no rush here. No rush. All I've done here is protect myself from losing money so far. And I'm a 6-account trader now. So I want to make sure it's perfect. Otherwise, it's not worth it, right? Okay, it's going to be increasing volume. That's a good reaction. Yeah, the one that doesn't have any scaling requirements. Okay. So let's see how this thing closes. 20 seconds to go. Again, guys, the account you choose honestly is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Too much emphasis, too much focus gets put on that instead of making the main thing the main thing. Yeah, I have. Again, that doesn't make a difference. So higher high, higher low. We know a lot of dip buyers defending. Increasing volume, but weak bearish candle. I don't think my setup here is dead. Like, what account you choose is not going to make you more profitable or make you rich. It's choosing to trade by being deliberate and specific, right? And identifying your variables, that's going to make you profitable. So it doesn't matter if you do that on Apex. Doesn't matter if you do that with my funded futures. Doesn't matter what size you go with. Those are all just like traps to make you feel like, hey, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. So it's dumb. It's a waste of energy. Okay, so watching here, right? 2107 would be the stop loss. If I can get a little bit of a pullback, I can maybe buy 2 contracts, right? Which would be fantastic. So a little bit more here. Right? Ideally, it's an entry off of 1650. Right? See that act as support. All right, so I am in. Average price 21,118. It's only one contract. And I tried to buy on that 1650 touch, but it bounced too quickly before I could get in. At that price, so I got to fill that 18. Come on. Ooh. Come on, bounce, bounce, bounce. I got stopped out. A little shaky fakey. So minus 284.32. What do you mean, what did I see on that entry, Nick? I don't know what that means. The idea here, right, was to buy on a retest of previous high a day. So I'm a little bit confused by your comment. All right, so it's once you see elevator up, stairs down, it's identify an area where you could see support, defend, and then look for a gentle pullback into that zone. Initially, we got a pretty good bounce off of that 21-116.50, but then it just couldn't sustain that move higher here. So that happens, no big deal. Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. And it just seems to be fighting at this psych level, right? No real separation above, no real separation below. So I'm not sure if that's like consolidation for the next leg breakout, or if this is signs of exhaustion here at these highs. That's unclear still. Well, what do you mean by that, Craig? Like, what do I have to change from a settings perspective? Nothing. I don't have to change anything. It's just set up a new server in Discord. That's a pretty low vol breakout there, right, to 23 and beyond. Kind of starting to feel like this might just be exhaustion and now just like a chop. Pop and chop, right? Pretty much. It's kind of how it feels. Well, with FOMC on the docket here, laughing to the bank, I don't expect today to be a particularly busy session because everyone, like the big funds and stuff like that, they had their playtime yesterday and now they're waiting for the interest rate decision. There's very few reasons for us to have a traditional trend day when you're waiting for that data to drop, right? So for sure, I would love to be crazy busy here today and have another 3-for-3 day like I had yesterday. But I don't think that's the high probability type price action. Right? FOMC, it's always like this. So why would I expect otherwise, right? Not going to trick myself into thinking that the market's going to give me something that it's not historically supposed to give. Because then when that doesn't happen and I get stuck in a position, I'm just going to put myself on tilt, anticipating a tremendous amount of follow through. So it's not about showing love. It's not about anything along those lines. It's about controlling expectations so that when things don't happen, I know that I can walk away, right, and maintain mental capital. It's when I expect tremendous amounts of follow through and I expect, you know, huge moves, whatever it might be, and the market doesn't want to cooperate, then I end up getting on tilt because I feel like I owed something, right? Or I deserve something. And so that's not a sustainable way to behave, in my opinion. So kind of looks like it might just be a mean reversion day here now without really any oomph. And I don't have any bearish theses. I'm not going to sell into that bearish volume or into that bullish volume yesterday. It's too aggressive. Well, for me, it's true, Tyler, right? Like trading, as much as it's a technical game, it's a mental game disguised as a technical game, right? And in my opinion, good risk management and good psychology is a proactive, not reactive process. So if I want to be the best trader I can be, I honestly have to be ruthless with myself in my ability to basically manage my expectations. Right? So I'm not here to, I don't crave action, right? I set myself up to try to follow my rules as best as I can because the evidence I have of following my rules and behaving the way that I say I'm going to behave creates long-term success. And then when I skip those steps, right, and I start to go from being rational to irrational, that's when my trading starts to get dangerous. Right? Because once I'm in an irrational frame of mind, what happens next is not logical. And so then I just screw myself over and I get destroyed. I hear that, Tyler. Well, if you have any questions, please let me know. Be happy to try to answer as best as I can. And it's just about building that process, right? The more deliberate we can be in controlling and creating that process, the more deliberate that outcome will be. We're not looking for a lucky result. Well done, Jeremy. Congratulations. Again, no real breakout above 21.1. No real breakdown under 21.1. So, I mean, I'm very happy I played that position pretty small. But I'm not sure what the market wants to do here. We got Nat Gas at 10:30, so 10 minutes. Could definitely be something. But we're getting no separation in either direction here after that initial move. So that makes me feel like probably the most likely trade is a little mean reversion back down towards maybe the opening range high. But I have no thesis for that, right? That's just purely reflecting off of what I've seen here so far. And I'm not going to change my pre-market plan to trade that here now in what has been a choppy session, right? Yeah. Always be cautious. And I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Your job as a trader is to be incredibly honest with yourself and hold yourself to a higher standard than most people would, and to be incredibly selfish in your decision-making processes. And oftentimes what feels best for our accounts in the moment is not what's best for our accounts long-term. So being selfish is understanding how you need to protect yourself from the worst versions of yourself. And that's all I'm trying to illustrate here with my psychology, right? I'm not trying to protect Tyler or Jen or someone. I'm trying to set myself up for long-term success and to show you what it takes for me to accomplish that, right? I'm being selfish in that pursuit. And so I would ask that you all do the same thing, right? Because what sets you over the edge, the number that breaks you, the price action, right, that makes you feel on tilt is going to be different for everyone. And so we need to be incredibly selfish in that pursuit and understand that it is a me versus me game, right? Not a me versus the market game. So again, see if we can get some separation away from this 21.1. But it doesn't seem like it wants to, right? We're like in a 13, 14, 15, maybe 20 point range in the last 20 minutes. So I don't know what's choppier, my tech issues or the market. Does feel like if we can crack through that 21, we're going to get a flush. And it's just a positioning trade, not a trend day trade today, right? Yesterday was a trend day trade. Today is a positioning trade. And it's positioning going into FOMC. Nothing more, nothing less. So we don't need to put too much stock into this price action here yet. And we can just let go, let Powell. So, I mean, kind of weird, but got the song Gangster's Paradise stuck in my head, right? But in my mind, the words are Scalper's Paradise, not Gangster's Paradise. So I'm trying to keep myself entertained here as I'm just watching paint dry. Yeah, might pay me more than today's price action, that's for sure, Steven. Again, this range, pretty gross. So I don't know. I'm not sure if there's any value in being an aggressive trader here right now. Weird, Rusty. I thought it was the most reliable firm of all time. That's the propaganda I was being fed. I keep seeing buyers defending 21, but then flushing back down towards it. So it's like buyers seem to be getting more and more exhausted as we get 5 points of separation, 10 points of separation, 15 points of separation. And then they kind of just like give up. So if we do get a flush through here, I think we're going to see a big stop run. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, little bounce. Need to get through 91.75. 91.75 would be the point. Okay, we got Nat Gas in 2 minutes. Is that the Weird Al song, Steven? Or is that by someone else? Yeah. The legend. Alright, so watching here still, like no real enthusiasm. Again, a classic catch your breath type day, right after a pretty crazy election. So 46 seconds till Nat Gas. You're not expecting a tremendous algo reaction to that, but you never know. When the volume is thin and price action isn't moving much, those types of things can create a little bit of some cinder blocks. This is just pure consolidation here so far. So let's watch here now. No reaction. ES is stuck at 59.90. See a little bit of a move, but nothing crazy. No real reaction here on NQ. No real reaction on ES. There goes that 90 touch. So generally, right, when things are slow, so that'll be through the YouTube link, Craig. That'll be through the YouTube link. So generally when things are slow, right, my bias is to want to fade a slow market. But just because things are slow doesn't mean I need to be short, right, or have short exposure. We've like legitimately not gotten any follow through here in either direction yet. So it's telling me not to do anything stupid, right? It would be fun to be aggressive and to have risk on and to be full port into something. But that is chasing a feeling, not a process, right? And the more and more I reward chasing that feeling, the worse things go. So I'm not a feelings-based trader, right? I'm a systematic trader. No, Gabe, I already talked about this. I will not be trading post FOMC. It's not historically where I have an edge. So I'm not going to do something here just for the sake of trying to get action. It's been a great week. I don't need to do anything else. So no, I won't just trade for the sake of trading. No, thank you. Life's too short. Again, we still want to see a breakdown through that 91, right? That's got to be the point. Again, pretty big defense and bounce. There it goes. Not enough volume really to be confident in that yet. And again, I'm just doing this for show. not for dough, right? I'm not going to be trading this to the downside if it breaks down. I have no interest in trying to fade the most recent rally here, right? There's too many participants, right? And too much volume in the way where, like, I'm not a salmon. I'm not going to swim upstream, right? Or swim against the current of volume. And that's what trading, trying to fade this rally would be, right? So I'd rather be deliberate, save my money, save my mental capital, do whatever, and not just like chase a feeling. And again, like I say, when things are slow, my bias is to want to fade slow markets. So I would love to go short here. But if I did that, right, if I took a trade here that's counter my system, counter my rules, just for the sake of trading, all I'm doing is I'm making it easier for me to lose money in the future, right? So taking a short here would be against my back-tested results, right? It would be against my technique. And so instead of feeling like I've got a sure thing, I would be so frustrated right now being down 20 points or whatever it is, chasing something that wasn't there, right? Well, what happens to salmon when they swim upstream, right? They get exhausted and die. So that's why it's the analogy of choice. All right? So when you think you've got a surefire setup, the market will do this to you. It will find a way to frustrate you beyond your most wildest dreams. That's not fun. And if we fall for that trap, we fall for that trick, we just drain our mental capital. When we drain our mental capital on trades, we set ourselves up for failure, not for success. All right? So I could have chased that move. I could have tried to force some P&L. But now I'd be down, I don't know, maybe $500. And I'd feel like an idiot, right? And it would have been purely by my desire to be greedy that I would have put myself further away from my target. So the more and more that I can reward myself for following my process, reminding myself that, hey, when I chase my feelings, I lose money. And then I see it, right? Basically reward me for that. Easier it is for me to sit on hands the next time, right? I feel that feeling because I have the evidence to suggest that, hey, my patience, my being deliberate, right, is actually profitable. It actually works out. We got to remember, right, too, Steven, that 99% of the thoughts that we have intraday aren't real, right? Or they're not designed to actually make us profitable. So one of the hardest things to kind of wrap your head around as a trader is to basically stop believing every thought you have. And that's why we trade like in a systematic way, right? Because if you're systematic, you can override those decisions with just rules. And then you can train your gut into having better, like a higher quality of thoughts. But most people aren't willing to put in that work to create basically that trained gut, right? They think they have it right from the get-go. And that's not how it works. So my job as a trader, when I have a back-tested strategy, isn't to make money. It's to follow my rules and follow my system and to behave in the way that I say I'm going to behave. When I abandon basically that process, then the results I get are random. And if you're expecting random to make you money trading, you've got better odds playing roulette. So I know I'm ranting and raving like an absolute lunatic here today. But on these choppy days, I mean, that's what I need to do to keep myself sane, right? So I need to do to keep myself from taking dumb trades, from losing more money, from being undisciplined. And so I fight back against the market's desire to make me feel impulsive by reminding myself constantly that I am dumber than I think and that I'm not some like market savant, right? I make money when I follow my rules. I lose money when I don't. And so the more and more I obsess over about the quality of following my process and following my rules, the better I do. And there's like no exceptions. Maybe you get lucky with a win here or there, but that luck only leads to you blowing up your account further down the road. Almost always. I've yet to meet a lucky trader that keeps all their gains. They always give it back. $100%. There's a great book, Trade Like a Casino, which I highly recommend everyone reads. That basically really like cements that feeling, right? The house has an edge, and they play that edge with extreme discipline. When they don't have an edge, right, then you go to being the slot player, you know, feeling as if you have the hope, right? The hope of winning is not enough to place a trade. It's not a good enough reason. I don't trade because I want to feel things. I trade because I want to make money. If I wanted to feel something, I'd text my ex-girlfriend, right? And we're honestly in a pathetic range here. Since 10 a.m. Pathetic range. And the volume's pretty poor. The price action is wiki. I won't be aggressive. There's no reason to. So maybe here, right? If we can get an outlier volume candle, hold above previous high day, we could possibly think about a long. But I'm so skeptical of this market today just because I know the context, right? So instead of being a self-sabotaging idiot, I'm going to be a disciplined, motivated trader. Okay, so it's setting up here, right? Increasing outlier volume, breakout through high a day. We have a possible opportunity to trade this towards 2200, 21,200. All right, see if it's got the legs. So I was trying to watch this carefully here. So stop loss would be 135.25 potentially. $10-point stop, right? Means I could go 2 contracts. Now it'd be 1 contract, right? Does give me on the 3. Can reset again here on the 5, right? No big deal. So stop loss 149.25. Targeting 200. Just watching this pullback here gently. Pretty big dump there. Be patient. Okay, now we'll lower low. Find support, elevator up, stop loss now, 147.25, 146. Again, pretty fast pullback. Feels like it might make another lower low. Decent bounce. But then gets stuck. What's the time? 10:52. Still a little bit of time here. Again, not sure if it's screaming out, be aggressive. One nice candle is all we need, but getting 2 nice candles in a row here today seems to be a little bit of a challenging bit of PA. So again, I'm not in a rush to lose money, right? Life's too short. And all those impulses of going short, right? Of wanting to fade this market would have been wrong. So again, right? I can remind myself, the more I follow my rules, the more I follow my system, the better I do. The more I skip those steps, the more I get punished and just hurt myself, right? So now stop would have to be 139.75. And we're looking for elevator up, stairs down. We have not gotten that correct reaction yet. And had we jumped in on the 3-min time frame, probably have gone stopped out, right, on our entry. So again, right, being patient, slowing down the process, not expecting myself to rush is proving to be positive value on my decisions. Again, still no elevator, right? Be patient. Double inside bar. Still not dead, but still not like signs of life either. Don't trade the coma. I'm really dipping into my bag of sayings here today. I swear I'm not a freak. Okay, it's a little inside bar here, still in play. We want to see high breakout, enthusiastic breakout above previous high day, so 158.25, and then a gentle pullback. Stop loss would be like 150. Okay. Still not a gentle pullback. 11 points would be 2 contracts. Okay, so watching closely here. Like I said, stop loss, 150. Not yet, right? Still not the right reaction. And I'm being beyond patient here, right? It's almost 11 o'clock. Increasing volume here. An increasing volume hold above 160 is a good sign. Again, no rush. Down $284. Like, no big deal, right? But just don't fall for it. Don't trick yourself into making that 584, right? Or 784 or whatever it is. It's got to be perfect. Okay, decent close, held above 160. Come on, come on. An aggressive technique would allow my stop loss to be 157, 158. Call it 156.75. All right, watching closely here, team. Little gentle pullback. Just a little bit more. Oh, so close. It's got to be under 166.75. And we want to watch ES as it creeps up towards 6,000. Really close here. Come on. Oh, I got within a tick. Okay, still watching here. No, not yet. Too big of a rejection. So I'm going to say no entry on that, right? No entry, no entry. See, all we did was just buy ourselves time to make that decision, right? We didn't have to do anything crazy. We were just being patient to find what we needed to have seen. And when we didn't get that exact result, there's no reason to click submit, right? So being specific is a cheat code. It makes entries binary, so you stop chasing a feeling and you start just trading price action in front of you. Now it's starting to feel like it might be a flush. But it's a bouncy one. Yeah, that's a big move. In my opinion, I still want to see CL get out of this range. It's a little bit range bound for my liking. A little bit too much. Right? Still an inside bar day by every metric. And it's stuck at resistance. So, Like, it's just less appealing. Doesn't mean it can't work. It's just late in the day, not a huge amount of volume. FOMC on the docket. No reaction to nat gas. Yeah, we're just stacking probabilities against us, not for us. Spot on, Frodo. Spot on. The time of day also implies higher probability of mean reversion versus trend continuation. So that, again, I think is probably more the bias for me here if I were to have a setup. But I'm not, like, enthusiastic I have one. That's a pretty decent size rejection on ES. I mean, this is really tempting to want to go short. I don't think I have the courage. Again, it's against my system, right? It's against my strategy. And just chasing here, it'll feel really rewarding, right? It'll feel so good, but it won't make us any money. Not long term. Maybe in the moment, but not long term. And again, would have stopped us out on the aggressive, right? So I'm just thinking to myself, what's the point? Why torture myself? Seems like the owner rug pulled the organization, Craig. Started buying Lambos and Ferraris and expensive watches instead of paying out his clients. Which, truth be told, was very predictable. There's a very good reason. It was like fast track trading or something like that. What's the name? There's a reason why it's not in the vetted prop firms channel. So again, would have been stopped out on this trade here to the downside. So again, right? The thoughts I have intraday are not designed to make me money. They're designed to make me feel good, not to make me profitable. And there's a big difference, right? Big difference. Oh, yeah, easily, Jared, easily. And that's worst feeling in the world, right? Worst feeling in the world. Yeah, it was. Still wanted to see it get up and over, right, the trend line. So that's the plan we had here this morning. Because until that, it just looks like consolidation, right? Post 3 for 3. So again, not enthusiastic to chase suboptimal PA. And yeah, trying to fade this high, doesn't feel good, I would say. Like, that would have been now 2 nasty fake outs. Oh, like, that happens, right? That happens. Green is green. What you want to now review, though, right, is why you felt or why you were able to create basically that execution mistake for yourself, right? Why that happened. It's okay, it worked out today, but it won't work out every day. And losing money on an operational mistake, right, on just like a pure execution error, is the most frustrating way to lose money. Right? That's the stuff that puts you on tilt. So, how can I make sure that that doesn't happen again? How can I make sure that I have everything set up, right? So the next time I have an opportunity, I'm not being an idiot, pretty much. Look, it happens, right? I'll have operational mistakes here sometimes too. They totally happen. In my opinion, generally when I start to have those types of mistakes, it's kind of a sign of burnout. At least for myself personally. Because I'm not willing to, cross my T's and dot my I's and I'm trying to rush things, there's usually some sort of other influence there that's pushing me into being hyper aggressive. And that's a little bit of a generalization. But for me, it's definitely a symptom of that being a potential problem. And again, the only way we would have possibly made money here today is trading without a stop loss and getting lucky, right? But once you start doing those behaviors and you start to ignore your risk limits and all this kind of stuff, good luck, right? Because then you're emotional with your decisions. So, I don't know. At this point, I think it's pretty close to walking away time. Yeah, and that's the point of the paper trading, right? Is it allows you to basically create that muscle memory. And okay, if you have an operational mistake, you know how to fix it so you can do what you want to execute, right? Or you close your position, right, and you walk away and you just build up those, basically trigger points, right? And we're not expecting ourselves to be perfect. We're never going to be, right? Perfection doesn't exist in trading. But we have to be willing to admit mistakes while they're still small mistakes before they become big mistakes, right? Because compounding to the downside is easier than compounding higher. And yeah, not being able to admit when we're wrong, when we have made a mistake, always bites us in the butt. Maybe not in that trade, maybe not today, but when we get okay or we get positive reinforcement for doing the wrong thing, that becomes like the most dangerous possible trade. Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. I have operational mistakes all the time. You'd make mistakes. You go too big exposure, right? When you want it to be smaller, whatever it might be. Those things happen. 100%. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah. I mean, yesterday when I lost my internet, when I was in a short trade, that was scary too. Yeah, so CL again, right? Our plan has saved us here. No ego, no emotion. Just trade our plan. And no doubt, right? That's incredibly frustrating sometimes. But that's what it's there for, right? It's there to protect ourselves from ourselves first and then make us money second. So here we could possibly have a setup to the downside, right? ORB fake out around 72, then break down towards. Well, this is a high volume rejection off of 72. So we're absolutely in business for sure. Again, time of day, maybe the thing that slows me down just a little bit. It's 11:18 on FOMC day. I've been ranting and raving like a lunatic here. So I don't know how valuable it is to just keep forcing price action. And again, 0 for 1 on the day, $284 down. That is very reasonable, right, to make that back in one good decision. Forcing that decision here today is a surefire way of doubling that loss. See if we can get this maybe on one of the longer time frames. Slow down the process, right? Slow down the process today. Only had evidence of this being chop and chop and chop, right? So assume the market's going to behave like it always has until proven otherwise. And no real immediate proven otherwise here. And obviously, now it flushes like a lunatic. All about that base, about that base. And then it does this, right? So, I think at this point, team, I'm not going to place any further trades. I don't feel like I have any evidence to suggest that there is an edge trading these moves here. The edge for me today is about protecting myself from making any further mistakes. Because, yeah, look at this, right? That's just dirty. So I think it would be egotistical of me to think I would have made money on that decision. I would not have. Not at all. So again, done well here today by basically just protecting ourselves from ourselves. And I don't think I've really missed out on anything. Still a great week, right? Yesterday was like a $13,000 day. So losing $1,200 across all my accounts doesn't really put a dent into that, right? Yeah, you have a good day, man. What's post in the Discord, Oz? Be happy to take a look. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you too, Sammy. Enjoy, man. All right, team. So final call for questions here. Final call for questions. I see nothing appealing. Yeah, you too, Frodo. And you too, Willard. Have a great day, man. Yeah, I've not missed out anything here. Not at all. So, final call here, team. Final call for questions. Final call for questions. It's all about that news. About that news. Fix 15 spot 1-8. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything else here, team. So, yeah, same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside the market hours. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. But nothing for me to trade here rest of this morning. Not going to look to trade anything into FOMC. Not going to play that news pop or anything along those lines. With that out of the way tomorrow, I would expect we have cleaner conditions, right? Because then we're going to have presidential election sorted out, and we're going to have, the rate decision sorted out. And so those have been the two biggest elements of uncertainty that the market has been waiting to basically solve over the last, say, 2-3 weeks or so. And getting that chop out of the way, taken care of, right? And then no longer being a significant factor should create an opportunity for a melt up, melt down, right? Whatever direction the market wants to give us. So we're going to see how things shape up here in the next week or so, but very much optimistic that we are going to have some pretty nice tradable conditions as we creep up towards the holiday period, and we can keep building on what has been a pretty good month, right? So focus on the variables we can't control. Keep focusing on our risk management, right? Keep focusing on talking ourselves out of trades versus into them, and things tend to shape up a lot better for us long term. So, okay, not the world's most incredible trading day here by any means. Down $284 per account. That's fine, right? I can bounce back from that, no problem. I'm less than one trade away from being at new all-time highs, so I'm not going to make that personal. Going to keep focusing on my process. Keep focusing on the variables I can't control and let the market do its thing. So have yourselves all a fantastic rest of the afternoon, and looking forward to catching up with a few of you here later today. And yeah, guys, we'll talk soon. So have yourselves a great one, and talk to you later. Peace.